Hello and welcome. This month I'm going to be doing a couple of videos on a theme that I think is very important, and that is prayer. And I'm not just going to be talking about prayer, I'm going to be reviewing some books that I think are very, very helpful for improving our prayer lives. Um, I've got to say, first of all, that prayer is very important, if not the most important um, part of what we do every day as Christians, because it is the means by which we communicate with God. It's also the means by which we align our lives with the purpose of God on earth. But if you ask 10 Christians what part of their Christian life they struggle with the most, I bet you 9 would say it is prayer. And if you would ask another 10 which area of their spiritual life they would love to improve, 9 would say prayer, most likely. And it's because a lot of people struggle with prayer. I think that is something that is rather usual rather than unusual. Um, I'm going to be talking about a book that I found very valuable. It's called Prayer, the Real Battle by Bro Andrew and Al Jensen. And I love the unique perspective of this book because Brother Andrew, many, many years ago, would smuggle Bibles across the border into countries where it was very dangerous to be a Christian, and Christians were seriously persecuted. And he would pack Bibles into his car and drive up to the border and then pray that God, who makes blind eyes to see, please make seeing eyes blind. And so this is a man who's definitely lived practically the life of prayer. And some of the most important things it says in this book is that, first of all, the early church was built on the back of prayer. When you look at the book of Acts, there were definitely more prayer meetings than more tent gatherings or word sessions, as the case may be. And so the disciples will give themselves continually to prayer. There are 3 things I want to say about prayer. The first one is to recognize that prayer is such a very integral and critical part of the Christian life, and it is the means through which God has given us authority and power here on earth to enforce His will on earth. Like Christ said, the kingdom of God come and His will be done on earth. And that is done by we praying and aligning ourselves in agreement with the will of God. Number 2 is to always find a specific time and have a specific place to pray. That is, you can start by saying, I'm going to be praying 5 minutes every morning, in my room. And after 5 minutes, you realize that once you're consistent, then you can start 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And so it's about starting, in gradual chunks. It's no use saying, I want to start by praying for 3 hours at a stretch if you've not started praying for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And number 3 is that there are so many things to pray about. One of the things that people struggle with, I definitely struggle with that at the start, was, you go down on your knees and within 2 minutes you've run out of things to say. But it's to begin to think of our lives in terms of things that we can pray about, prayer points, and not just to focus on ourselves, but to pray the way Christ prayed and the way Paul prayed, which is to pray, first of all, for those in authority, to pray for the spiritual leaders, to pray for saints, to pray for people in your church, to pray for your family members who are not yet saved, to pray, for peace in the community. And what can also help is to make a list of things that you want to be praying about, and you still realize that there's actually more things to pray about than the prayer time that you have available, and so you no longer struggle. So make a list of things that you would love to pray about. You can make a new list every month. You can have 15 to 20 things that you love to pray about and pick from those things to pray about. By the time you spend 2 minutes in each, by the time you have 10 items on your list, you already prayed for 20 minutes. So I want to challenge you to build a lifestyle of prayer, because without prayer, then how do we connect to God? Without prayer, then how do we make the will of God to be done on earth? And without prayer, we can't align ourselves with the purpose and the mind of God. So prayer is very important. I encourage you to go through this book. If you can get one, you can buy it online or search online for it. Very powerful book. challenges you on a lifestyle of prayer. Says prayer is the greatest battle, and it is the means through which we can actually bring God's will on earth. Thank you.